This is Ellis Gordon, and you're listening to episode 81 of Who's on Top.
Welcome back to Who's on Top. I'm your host, Ori Ben-Ari. It is episode 81, October 19th, 2021, and we have a fun trio episode for you. Some of our analysts couldn't make it, so we just stuck with the best, the creme de la creme. So speaking of the creme de la creme, we got the Red Sox maniac, Daniel Fox.
Yes, sir. Go Sox, kid. Fourth time's the charm.
Go Sox. I've become a conditional Red Sox fan nowadays, so it is what it is. And
well, just a good friend, really.
Of course. I want to see you happy, Daniel. And the room lord himself, Ellis Gordon.
The what lord?
The room lord. I'll explain later.
Okay. I don't get that, but what's up, guys?
We stayed in your room this weekend.
We stayed in your room, Ellis.
Oh, that's
What does he mean?
So for a little bit of context and a little bit of personal history, Daniel and I headed back up to New Jersey for fall break.
Down. I live in the north.
We the
north.
All right.
We the north.
We just headed to New Jersey. Some of us from the north, some of us from the south. And we decided to stay at Ellis's dorm room. I actually got the pleasure of staying in his bed, and boy, was that pleasureful. We also met his roommate Eddie, who was wonderful. Thank you, Eddie, for letting us stay in your room and stay up till 4:30 a.m. It was pretty interesting. We had a great time. All right, so let's move on to the meat of our podcast, the NBA preview. We got the East storylines, the West storylines, and then we're gonna have our NBA Finals picks. So why don't we start it off with the East? I'll kind of take this away because I actually do know my basketball stuff. So let's talk about the Bulls. The Bulls were looking lovely in preseason. Not that counts for too much, but they do have a rejuvenated core. Lonzo Ball, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Kyle Kuzma, and Vucevic. Like this is a five that could really go somewhere. It's obviously pretty small ball, but I mean, that's kind of where the NBA has been trending nowadays, regardless. And Vucevic can stretch the floor regardless. So I don't know. What do you guys think of the Bulls? I think the Windy City really has some way to make traction this year.
Oh, they're a really good team. Alice, you go first.
I think they're a good team. The question is, are they beating the Bucks and Nets? Other than that, it depends especially in a sport like basketball. It depends who are you, what are your expectations of the season? If your expectations are a 3 seed, very attainable. If your expectations are for them to beat the Nets and the Bucks, who are the cream of the crop of the East, I don't know, man. I don't know if it's happening. So I think if your goal is for the Bulls to win an NBA title, you're going to be disappointed. But if your goal is to make maybe a deep run in the playoffs, I think the Bulls can, especially with Lonzo Ball looking better than ever, I think the Bulls can surprise some people.
I think in this current NBA, it's impossible to win a championship without a true superstar. And they just don't have it. I mean, Lonzo Ball.
I don't know. Zach LaVine.
Yeah,
Zach
I would counter
gets
saying
pretty
Zach
close.
LaVine could be
You think he's a superstar?
I think
my opinion, he's just as good as Devin Booker in most situations. Like if you look at his numbers, they're very similar to Devin Booker's, and I think he even might be a better passer than Devin Booker. That said, Devin Booker is on a more complete team with CP3 helming it, but they're very similar statistically and have both had a tremendous amount of success. So I don't know. It's interesting to see because they aren't really talking.
Do you think he stacks up with Kevin Durant and Giannis?
No, that's the issue.
No, but again, no one except Kevin Durant and Giannis stacks up with Kevin Durant and Giannis.
But that's how
LeBron
I feel
James.
it is. That's how I feel it is in the NBA today.
Sure, but I mean, I'm saying like if you're comparing
maybe they could pull off a Hawks run. They're probably a better team than the Hawks.
Dan, want to hear stats though? Just to give credit to Zach LaVine. Last year, he put up 27 points a game on 5 assists and 5 rebounds.
Yeah, no, I think that ranks like, top percentile in the league. And
for sure.
And I mean, and you add like DeMar DeRozan, who is one of the more talented scorers of our time. Kyle Kuzma, who's explosive, to say not the least, a fan favorite. And Lonzo Ball, who to be honest, has not been the best player, but he's been really good at assists and very
And
respectable.
He's looked better as of late.
And also 3-run, 4-run.
3-run.
3-run. Poor Daniel.
Bases clearing double. But yeah. I think this Bulls team can make some noise. I think people are sleeping on Zach LaVine, but again, Dan makes a good point. He's not better than Giannis. He's not better than Durant. I don't think these teams are beating either.
All right.
But can I speak about Giannis? Because especially after today, at time of recording, the Bucks Nets game just ended. The Bucks won. The Bucks won 127-104. Giannis, especially with his new shooting, looks ridiculous. I mean, 32 points, 14 rebounds, 7 assists. Are you guys ready to call him the best player in the league? Because I am. I am ready to call him
I don't know. A lot of momentum. I feel like in the NBA Twitterverse, a lot of momentum has been shifting for Durant being the best player in the league. And I mean, this kind of shift from James over, but I don't know if anyone's as dominant as those two. And I see them on a similar playing field. They just have different skill sets.
But how do you stop? Look at what Giannis is doing. I
don't think you can stop because you can't really stop him in the post. And now he's added a jumper. It's like, well, shit, like,
yeah.
What am I going to do? And not only that, he's one of the best defenders in the league and he can make he's a playmaker. He can make plays. Like, I don't know it just seems pretty ridiculous to me. For anyone to be that good. And it's not like you're playing against a bad team, right? You're playing against Kevin Durant. This is a preview possibly of your Eastern Conference Finals. And what maybe you see.
I would say maybe this is recency bias, but I just don't. I think the Bucks are primed for another run, maybe.
Yeah, but you've never seen something. They're still underrated. Like, people aren't talking about. They're talking about the Nets. They're talking about the Clippers. They're talking about the Lakers. No one's talking about the Bucks, who has brought back this pretty much the same core as their championship winning
run.
Just
some more depth.
Yeah. The only argument I see is that a lot of people were injured during the playoffs last year. And, like maybe that's not enough to cut it. But I don't know. They're so good. You saw what they did to Phoenix and you saw what they did to the Nets. So.
Oh, yeah. What do you think? Let's talk about two teams that are playing each other, but have player issues. 76ers with Ben Simmons, Nets with Kyrie. What are their outlooks for team-wise? What are their outlooks player-wise?
I think the 76ers have such a distraction right now. Like it's clearly it's hard to focus on anything when you have someone that like I wouldn't say toxic, but like that is the word that comes to mind,
toxic,
right?
No toxic. But wait, like, 76ers or Nets? Sorry.
76ers. I mean, both of them totally. Even. Ben but it's Simmons. Just a distraction. Like you can't you're going up against like the best professional athletes in their fields and you have to worry about like your teammate and leader being kicked out of practice. That just seems silly.
And you know what? Kyrie at least is good. Like you can say, okay, well, whatever. Kyrie's an idiot, but he's good at. What is Ben Simmons? What is his like leverage? He is a bum. He is a He is why can't I blank on the word? He's a liability to his team in the playoffs. You know what? He is a fraud. He's a lie. And this, by the way, is as one of the early on biggest Ben Simmons fans because all I thought is he needs to add a shot, but he is a fraud. He's a liability. Yep, he's a liability to his team in the playoffs. Who are you making demands? Fuck out of here. I'm not even a 76ers fan, and I'm pissed for the 76ers. Like, I'm a Knicks fan. I should hate the 76ers, but, like, this is pissing me off. Like, this is not LeBron. This is not KD. This is not Giannis. The city is not, sometimes you say, well, this team hasn't supported him. Ben Simmons, you have not supported this team. It's not the other way around. You have no right to make demands. You have no right to sit out. You have no right to have a cell phone during practice. You are a certified bum. Literally.
Wait, what did he do during practice?
He was literally like in sweatpants and sweatshirt with a phone and checking his phone during practice.
It's kind of like Ellis at the gym,
Yeah.
He is a certified bum.
Was he also on the ground eating snow?
No. He is a certified bum. He has no right to demand a trade. He has no right. Joel Embiid can demand a trade. He has no right. He can go to any other team. He's been living off potential for the last 6 years. Eventually, that's going to run out. Yeah, Ben Simmons is a complete bum. Kyrie Irving's just an idiot, also a bum for completely separate reasons. He's an intellectual bum. He says he's not even anti-vax. He's not going to take the vaccine, but he's doing this for the people that got laid off. Why? What? You know what? If you want to actually contribute to the people that got off, give your game checks to those people that got laid off.
Get paid, get vax, get paid, and then send people unemployment checks if you're that concerned
but you don't care
about it.
You are so selfish for a headline and being counterculture that you've become an absolute mental moron.
All right, let me ask you this: Who's the more toxic person?
LeBron.
Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons. Shut up.
LeBron.
Shut up.
Aaron Rodgers off the board.
Who's the most toxic person in the NBA? Aaron Rodgers.
Ben Simmons. No, Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons is more toxic because Kyrie's actually done a few good things in his life.
Kyrie's just stupid.
No, but Kyrie did the whole George Floyd thing. He donated a lot of his money to the Black Lives Matter movement. So he's had some good things, activism, but I'll never forgive him for the earth is flat. And this is it's such a bad look, especially because he's such an influence on so many people. And his decision making made no sense. He is a bum. He can go suck a dick. I hope he doesn't come back and play. Right? Good job for the Nets to keep him out of the game. Good job for the NBA. And Ben Simmons, you suck. So you should be a second stringer.
I think Ben Simmons is what I pretend Aaron Rodgers is, except that Ben Simmons actually talks to his family.
You know what? That's a very, very good point, Dan. That's a very good point.
As far as the Sixers go, I feel like they've almost moved on. Like Joel Embiid is like, I don't care about him. Rivers is like, all right, you called me, you're suspended.
But now on the flip side, what Morey should have done for the 76ers is trade him when he had a little value. Now he has no value. So that's annoying for him. But all right, what do you guys feel about the Knicks? And then who do you think is going to come out of the East? Let's end with that.
Knicks?
Yeah, Knicks and
they're
East.
A basketball team.
Be quiet.
Hey, we have the Pistons. Not much better.
I think
can they go forward?
Yeah, I agree.
How more can they go forward? How do they get better?
But here's the thing: are Knicks fans so desperate for wins that they'll take a 4 and 5 seed and be happy? And as a Knicks fan, I will answer yes. Probably. I'll answer yes. For Knicks fans, yes.
But I don't think they're a 4 or 5 seed.
Oh, I think they could be a 5 seed. I think they could be a 5 seed.
Okay, I think obviously Bucks, Nets, Bulls, Hawks,
Celtics and Knicks. I review the same this year. So, I mean, Celtics have star power, but they don't have much depth. Knicks are the opposite. They have a bunch of depth, but not a lot of star power.
Yeah, I don't know where they go. I don't know where they go from here. I mean, how do they get better if they have the 20th pick every year? I mean, Julius Randle already had one of the best breakouts. He won breakout player of the year or most improved, whatever it's called. And how did they improve? They had Kemba Walker. Kemba Walker's done. He's done.
No, I believe Kemba Walker is still done. And Derrick Rose is a great spark plug.
He's done as a game-changing piece.
I think this is a 5 seed team, but yeah, you're right. They're no more than a 5
No
seed.
shot at championship.
I agree. All right, East. Who's coming out of the East?
It's got to be the Bucks. It's really good. For me, it's the Bucks or the Bulls.
I was going to pick the Nets until tonight, and I watched a little bit of tonight, and Giannis looks too good, and I'm picking the Bucks.
Yeah, I have the Bucks too.
I'm really high on the Bulls. I really think that they're gonna click and we're gonna see a run TMC. Old Golden State Warriors. It's gonna be something similar to that.
Maybe I'm not buying it fully, but I won't not buy it. All right, West, which is always more interesting. In the West, what are we thinking?
I mean, first thing to talk about is Klay Thompson being back, one of the best shooters of all time. I think we can say without a doubt. And they're looking pretty good tonight, if I'm not mistaken. Let me check the score. State. They are currently losing to the Lakers 76-85. But I mean, with Curry playing really well, having 13 points, 8 assists already, Draymond contributing. I mean, I'm excited for for Klay to come back, but I mean,
we got breaking news. We're going to our Warriors insider, Colin Clyde-Smith. Colin, thoughts on the Warriors this year?
They're playing like absolute shit right now, but they're going to be good. Fourth or 5 seed for sure.
All right, thanks, Colin Clyde.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I don't know how much more. This is not the splash. I mean, they're still great, but this is not the Warriors of 2016, 17, all that good stuff. They don't. Other than you need more than Curry and Thompson to win a title. I don't think they have it. Wiggins, Wiseman is.
The West
They can
is
Warriors could make a good trade and be in title contention. That's what I'll say.
the West is so flawed this year that the West is so flawed this year that why not Curry and Klay Thompson? I mean, can anyone have a pair of shooters like they do?
It's true, but there's other teams that are just better. For example, the Jazz, Suns, and Lakers.
The Jazz, we'll see.
I think
let's-
maybe not in playoffs, but in regular season, depth is super important, and the Warriors don't have the depth they do.
Let's talk about the Lakers then, because I mean, they right now have 6, 7 future Hall of Famers on their roster, right? Their roster, if you took every single player in their prime, would be just the team of the 2000s. I'd say, like, it's absolutely ridiculous how good they are. That being said, they are old. They do have a lot of age, and they might slow them down a little. But like Dwight Howard, Anthony Davis, LeBron James, Russell Westbrook, Carmelo Anthony. I mean, this is a team. This is Team USA. Like, what do we think about them?
Yeah. People they're gonna lose some games due to chemistry. Not to do the team makeup not being the best and not having pretty much any shooters, good shooters at least, other than LeBron. But if this team is fully healthy in the playoffs, I'm taking them. And that's a big if because this team is really old and it's easy to see one of these star pieces to go down. But if they're in the playoffs, I'm taking them to come out of the West because LeBron is still LeBron. Westbrook is still very good. And this team and Anthony Davis is still in his prime. So I don't think anyone beats those three when healthy. It's just health is a huge factor for this old man Lakers team.
Yeah. The question is, how are they going to navigate through a regular season where they need to get rested, but they also need to develop chemistry because you have all these guys. I mean, Westbrook and LeBron will see two ball dominant players, two of the most ball dominant players in the league. How are they going to mesh together? And it could be really ugly. It could be another 7 seed. And will Anthony Davis hold up? He had so many injuries last year. So they are the biggest question mark. I could see them as a 1 seed. I could see them possibly missing the playoffs if injuries keep nagging them like they have for LeBron and Anthony Davis the last couple of years.
I think with LeBron, when he's healthy, of course, he has that Tom Brady factor where you just, no matter the odds, you just can't see him losing a game. And I think that's important when it comes to playoffs. When you're down in the final 2 minutes into a close game, if LeBron is healthy, I don't care who's in the league. I don't care if he's not even the best player in the league. I trust LeBron more than anyone else in the league in the final 2 minutes. So yeah. Also in the West, we got Deandre Ayton. This is some minor news, but there's some tension with the Suns and Deandre Ayton. Deandre Ayton thought he was going to get a max contract. Honestly, he's played like he deserves a max contract, but the Suns did not give it to him. We'll look at that. And can Luka carry the Mavs? I'll answer it before you guys do. Sorry, but I don't think so. Listen, Luka and Jason Kidd, two notoriously hard people to work with, despite being very good. Just does not, chemistry-wise, does not seem like it. All the Mavs did this offseason was sign old average Knicks players. They'll be a 6 seed and they'll lose in the first round again. I'm sensing a early LeBron Cavs Mavs situation in the sense that he's going to get frustrated eventually and leave the Mavs, and Luka's going to leave the Mavs for a better team, kind of like LeBron did when the front office didn't support him. But
I can see that.
Maybe someone becomes a star. Devers. Maybe someone becomes a star. Maybe Luka just is so good that he can carry this team because I really think Luka's amazing. Luka Magic, but my nickname in basketball when I play here is Luka. But
I seriously doubt that.
No, it actually is. Yeah, I'm not high in this Mavs team.
Because you hit on all the refs?
No, because I sometimes make crazy shots and I'm a very good passer. That's pretty much it. I can't hit normal things.
Must be different than when you play here.
We've got a kid, by the way, that's amazing at basketball, like doubly better than Ori. No offense, Ori, you're very good. But
is he taller than me?
Yeah, I mean he's 6'5".
Okay, so
Doesn't count.
I'm not
Doesn't
too worried.
count.
Well, yeah, but
I
he also has a
only do
shot and
basketball
post
players
game
who are
moves.
5'5" and below.
Off topic, but yeah, what do you guys think about the Mavs or any other West teams, the Suns, Jazz? You want to comment on?
I mean, I don't think the Jazz do as well this year as they did last year. I think that's very much because of injuries. What happened last year with the Jazz? Like, sure, they play great in the regular season, but I honestly don't see it happening again. What I can say, I'm not as excited about the Mavericks as I think some other people are. Again, like you said, I just don't think that Luka can carry them. He's great, but there is some drop off. Usually third season. Wait, no. How many years has he been in the league? He's been in the league a lot. Never mind. I just think it's hard to sustain that kind of greatness for that long and not drop off, especially since you don't have such good teammates. And Porzingis has been underwhelming as usual. So
I think I can't remember a league, a conference as big of a crapshoot as we have now. I have no idea. Bleach Report, based on their power rankings, have the Jazz as a favorite, but
People
I
are
don't have any
sleeping.
faith in what?
People are sleeping on this Jazz team. I don't know if they can do the playoffs.
Well,
but
maybe
they're
because they
sleeping.
got demolished. Who was that? The Clippers in the playoffs last year? 5
What?
games. So how
Yeah,
can you have any faith in them?
Because they're still a really good regular season team and they can shoot
So are
well.
the Hawks.
They play amazing team basketball. They can shoot well,
did the
and they got a
Hawks.
budding star. Yeah, but the Hawks didn't have Donovan Mitchell.
All right. Well, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I just don't feel good about really any team in the West right now.
All right, so who do
really-
you got coming out? Oh, and the Nuggets. Where do you see the Nuggets, by the way, before we start going out?
Is
'Cause
Jamal Murray? How long is Jamal Murray out?
I think half the season, like probably to December or something like that.
They could survive. I don't.
If the Nuggets are to make a huge leap, Michael Porter Jr. is going to have to become a better defender and get more and become a better scorer in minutes. And he has the potential to do that. Remember, he was before his injury, he was to be the first pick in the draft consensus.
How about the Timberwolves? Give me something, huh?
No
I don't
defense. The Timberwolves have literally zero
Figure it
defense.
out.
But they have star power. So you know who would be really good on Timberwolves and not a bum? Ben Simmons. Trade Russell and Edwards for Ben
I
Simmons.
mean, but then you have something very similar to what happened in Philly, where you have a great big man and who else?
No, but Timberwolves are already really good on offense. Philly was not that good on offense compared to the Timberwolves. But the Timberwolves have the league's least worst defense, and Ben Simmons is a great defender, admittedly. So he'll figure that out.
You know what? I think the old creaky Lakers have one run in them. Lakers
too.
Warriors conference finals. I'm gonna hate it. I'm not gonna watch it. But give me the Lakers out of the West.
Clutch hit by Hernandez, by the way. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna give Lakers stay healthy enough to creak by, but this is a very volatile pick, and they play the Bucks, and I have got, you know what? Story tale ending. LeBron gets his 5th, and that'll be his last, and it'll be a good story to tell. He beats Giannis, but that's kind of like a simple pick. Mickey, yeah. That's kind of a simple pick, but anything can happen in the NBA, and injuries is always such a huge part of it. But right now, I got Lakers. Who's the MVP? You guys think?
Ooh, I'm gonna go under. I'm sticking with my Bulls. Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine's winning his first MVP this year.
Well, yeah. If you predict them to be that jump, then Zach LaVine will win. the
I
MVP.
really think that they're gonna be good. No, fuck that. Kyle Kuzma. Kyle Kuzma is my MVP.
Give
me Luka.
In
me
all
KD.
seriousness, I really think that if that Bulls team wins like 55, goes third in the East, like very legitimate shot for Zach LaVine to take that next step. He has been taking that next step every year. Remember, he used to be only a dunk guy. He added a 3-point shot. He added tremendous scoring. He
I
added
can relate to
passing.
that.
It's like every year he's getting better in the league. So I think this is the year for Zach LaVine. Super dark horse, right? And I'm not going to go with like
I love
Giannis,
it.
KD,
I
LeBron.
love it.
I really think that he has a shot this year.
That's like a Josh Allen pick. Like it's all there. It's all there. It might not happen, but it's all there to happen. I'm gonna go with KD when I'm looking at MVP. Ooh, Devers clutch. When I'm looking at KD, I'm looking at
Aaron
MVP.
Judge playbook, baby.
Oh come on. You know what I hate though, actually? So we can talk real quick. Aaron Judge is a very clutch MLB player.
Name
I
one
hate that
clutch hit.
narrative.
Name one clutch hit.
Literally
Oh,
the
wait,
one
besides that
that
double.
but he's had others too. Like I just can't name them off the top of my head because I'm
Oh,
dying.
okay. Well, if you go into a baseball argument with me, you have to be able to name stuff off the top of your head, buddy.
Well, if you let me search it up, I definitely can find more clutch hits.
Search it up. Did they do that back in the 50s? No. It's off the top of their head.
Sorry, Fox. Anyway, when I'm looking for MVP, I'm looking for storyline, and I think, and obviously playing well. And I think KD both is an amazing player, and he has the storyline this year to be MVP. You saw him carry like Harden got 20, he got 32. He's the clear number one in this team. If the Nets win the finals, he will be the MVP, and thus he is my MVP.
Oh.
All right. Do you guys have anything else to say about this NBA preview?
I'm excited for the season.
All right. Temperature is thick. Today's temperature is thick is what's thick is will the Cardinals finish with the best record in the league? Guys, what do you think?
No.
No.
I think it's just a fluke that they've started this hot. They've had some really close games. Their division is way too good. Packers
yeah.
might run away with it, honestly.
Well, actually, I mean, they only play the Niners one more time. Then we play the Rams one more time, and that's at home. You know what? They do finish with the best record in the league. They go 14-3 because they don't have a first place schedule, right? They have a third place schedule. They're not playing the Bucs. They're not. What division did the NFC West play?
I'll look it up right now.
Is it the AFC North? No, because the AFC
Texans. Yeah, they got the Texans.
Oh, they play the AFC South.
Yeah, which is even more.
Oh, yeah. No, they're
finishing with the best
North.
record. AFC South.
Where are the losses? Where are the losses?
Packers. They got Packers. They got 49ers.
But the Cardinals are favored in that game, and it's at home.
Yeah, looking at the schedule now, Dan makes a good point. That these are all. I'm gonna go. Going into this segment, I was gonna go against the Cardinals, but looking at their schedule, they're definitely gonna lose some games, and I think some of their wins have been fluky. But 6-0 is 6-0, and
I mean, the
I
Bills
don't see
now have
where
2
their losses are.
The Chiefs have 3 losses.
I think
the Ravens and the Bucs only have 1.
I think the Bucs and Ravens are due to lose 2 or 3 more games. Regardless, they'll be good in the playoffs. I'm just saying. I think the Cardinals end with the best regular season record. Yeah, they're gonna win against the Texans, and then the Packers. That'll determine.
I also just think they're a really good team.
Me too.
I know you hate Cliff Kingsbury, but
I do.
This is how you build the modern NFL team: explosive offense and a great pass rush because the other team is going to be passing.
Yeah, I love the Cardinals. So yeah, the Cardinals. And then what is flat? Are the Patriots done? And I'll answer this question first, but done is a weird word. I still think they showed they can play competitive football because they almost beat a very good team. They took a very good team in the Cowboys to overtime. Now, will they make the playoffs? Are they done in terms of playoff hunt?
I don't think they are.
I think they probably are. I think it's going to be really hard for them to make the playoffs. But will they be competitive against most teams? Yes. So they're not done in that sense. Dan, Ori.
Red Sox lose. I don't think they're done because, Mac Jones, I mean, you could say they hung with the Cowboys and they hung with the Bucs, but they also needed a last-second field goal to beat the Texans, and they struggled. Well, they didn't struggle moving the ball, but against the Jets. But I mean, Mac Jones is improving. He's shown a lot of good this season, even if he is somewhat limited. I mean, I think the Cowboys game was his best, but this secondary is bad. It's bad. And the questions about Gilmore once he comes back healthy, if Gilmore goes off for the Panthers, Patriots got a lot of questions to answer. I mean, the defense besides Matt Judon is really not good.
He's been great, though. Matt Judon has been great.
Matt Judon has been great, but I still think Hightower's cooked. I've watched pretty much every Patriots play. I haven't seen Hightower make a single, good play. Where is he? And this quarterback,
He's old,
Jonathan Jones and
He's
Jackson, they're
old.
good, but they're not what Gilmore is. And they don't have the explosive offense to make. I mean, this defense is bad. It's bad. Dak Prescott passed all over them. David Mills passed all over them. But at the end of the day, they got the Jets. They got the Dolphins twice. They're much better than either of those teams. And even if Belichick has made some questionable, to say lightly, calls this year, he's still Bill Belichick, and they've been in pretty much every game. So maybe they'll find a way to sneak through a couple. They did it last year with the Ravens and the Cardinals. So we'll see.
And with that, let us wrap up this podcast. I think we had a good chemistry podcast out today. It's late. It is the 20th and it is late. But if you want to start a podcast, you're listening to this, you're like, damn, I can do this if these bums can do it. Then go to Buzzsprout and get a podcast. You can start one for free. It's a good platform. It's easy, but it's very it's user friendly, but it also isn't like, it has a lot of features is what I was going to say. But you can do that. Or if you want to start a pay plan, use the link in our bio. You get a $25 Amazon gift card for that. If you want to follow the podcast, we're everywhere. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Deezer, Buzzsprout, wherever you want, but Amazon Podcasts. My end will fuck you to Jeff Bezos. But yeah, you can use the link in our description. You can use the link in our bio, or pretty much, yeah, just go search up Who's on Top, WHO'SONTOP on Spotify or wherever. Like, subscribe, turn notifications so you always know when the new podcast episode is out. That is important because we're always on the weekends, but sometimes Saturday, sometimes Sunday. We're trying to get more uniform as we go along. But yeah, do that.
If some analysts
YouTube,
showed up, maybe we could do things on time.
YouTube is Who's on Top, WHO'SONTOP. Like, so Spotify, there we post usually highlights, or if we interview someone in the interview, you can see our pretty faces. And yeah, if you want to condense
And you can see Ellis's
the
face
highlights,
too.
I knew you were gonna say that, boy. Get original. But yeah, like, subscribe, comment, turn on notifications, all that good YouTube stuff that everyone knows and loves. Or you can do both, watch YouTube and listen. We greatly appreciate that. And share it with friends, do all that stuff for both the audio and YouTube, because thank you for helping us grow. Social media, both Twitter and Instagram, watt.podcast, Twitter, WOT.PODCST. Twitter is run by Dan. And he posts really Red Sox stuff, and I'll post when the new podcast is out. You can use the link in our Twitter to listen to the podcast. Instagram is run by me, watt.podcast, same with a capital W. Links in our bio for our podcast. We do polls. We try to get the crowd, our podcast sense of what they want to hear. We do Hall of Fame, Hall of Shame in there. And you always know when the new podcast is out, as well as clues, some fire photo edits. I think that is all the announcements for this episode. Thank you for listening. As always, have a great week. Hope you enjoyed the pod. Stay safe, stay healthy. Put on those sweatshirts, baby.
Put on those
It's
sweaters,
fall.
man.
It's fall. And goodbye.